Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're from Group 6. We'll presented about reading report, moral values in the short story Ocean of Chocolate Milk. The group consists Keisha Alia Marshanda, Diva Olivia Daka Elipsi, Farlinga Fajrin, and Fitri Octavianisha. And for the first material will be explained by Keisha. To Keisha, time is yours.
So guys, I will explain about our first material, but before I start, I think and I hope you have read the story and the file that we have sent you into the group. So let's start. First, what is the story about? This story title is Ocean of Chocolate Milk. The author is Reni Yanier, and the main character of this short story is Theo, a boy from an orphanage. Theo is a boy who lives in the Kasih orphanage. He has never felt the love of a family, and he's never tasted chocolate milk before. One day he asked Miss Swasti, the character, what chocolate milk tastes like. She tried to explain, even though she feels sad because she can't afford to buy it for the kids. You understand and hopes they can try it someday. He once saw a kid drinking chocolate milk at a restaurant and it made him even more curious. At school, Theo asked his friend Nona about the test, but instead of answering kindly, she looked at him. Soon, the whole class looked too, and Theo feels embarrassed. He starts to wonder if it's trying to ask something so simple, not knowing that for most kids, chocolate milk is something they drink every day. Next. So, uh, what is moral value? Moral value, right and wrong. Anna Goulet behavior that is considered good, eth- ethical, and socially acceptable. These values shape a person's character and influence how they interact with others and make decisions in everyday life. In the article of the analysis, uh, they state that moral values are standards of good and evil, which govern an individual's behavior and choices. Next slide. In this story, the article analyzed that there are a few of moral value. The first is conscience. The character Theo, display a strong sense of conscience, which refers to the inner awareness of right and wrong. Despite being a young orphan, he shows emotional maturity by controlling his desire and being considerate of other circumstances. First, he avoiding burdening Miss Swasti. Theo deeply wishes to test the chocolate milk, something he has never had. However, he knows that Miss Swasti, who takes care of the orphanage, cannot afford it. Instead of insisting or complaining, he chooses to stay hopeful and gentle. In the story, the quote said that, it's okay, ma'am, hopefully later we can test chocolate milk, said Theo. He didn't want to see his kind mother in trouble. This shows that Theo has internalized a moral sense of compassion and restraint guided by empathy rather than self-centered desires. Next. The second one is staying respectful even when hard. At school, when his classmate Nona mocked him for never having tasted chocolate milk, Theo felt humiliated. Still, he did not reach harshly or lash out, and instead kept this composure. Theo looked down, her face flushed with embarrassment. Theo's ability to remain respectful even when emotionally hurt demonstrates a strong moral compass. There is a theoretical connection. According to Colbert's theory of moral development, Theo's actions reflect the conventional level, particularly stage 3, good interpersonal relationship, and stage 4, maintaining social order. He values empathy, kindness, and social harmony over selfish desire, even at the cost of his own comfort. Next. The second moral value that we can take from the story is freedom and responsibility. Character Nuna's journey is the story reflect that balance between freedom and responsibility, a central moral value where individuals are free to act but must also be accountable for the consequence. Freedom to act initially misused. At first, Nana looked at Theo for not knowing what chocolate milk tastes like. This is an example for her exercising her freedom. She speaks and reacts without thinking of how it might hurt others. What? Have you never drunk chocolate milk? Asked Nana. Theo nodded solemnly. Ha 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 ha, very funny, laughed Nana. Next, taking responsibility and making amends. Later, Nana realizes that she had hurt Theo's feeling remorseful. She chose to take responsibility by bringing chocolate milk to the orphanage, a gesture that not only comforts Theo but also benefits all the children. Thank Nana and her mother. They sent it to us, said Miss Swasti. Theo, I'm sorry. I was naughty yesterday. I drink it every day and I just found out that there are people who have never drank it. I'm sorry, asked Nana. Nana's change of heart and sincere apology shows a shift from spontaneous behavior to thoughtful responsibility. The next slide will be explained by the next speaker.
And for the next slide will be explained by Diva. So Diva, time is yours.
Okay, guys, I will explain to you about the moral value, rights, and obligation. The first is Theo had the right to ask a question, but instead he was ridiculed by his classmates. The second is Nana later realized her mistake and fulfilled her moral obligation by giving chocolate milk to Theo and the other children at the orphanage. The example quotes from the story is, Theo wants to know how chocolate milk tastes, said Nana, giggling. Ha ha ha, the other kids laughed too. And then Theo looked down, her face flushed with embarrassment. Theo, I'm sorry, I was naughty yesterday. I just found out that there are people who have never drunk it. I'm sorry, said Nana. So the theoretical support is Erikson's psychosocial development about initiative versus guilt. The stage where a child begins to take initiative, such as asking questions. So the next is values and norms. The values of friendship, empathy, and forgiveness are clearly shown in the relationship between Theo and Nana. The next is Theo forgives Nana, and together they both learn about kindness and gratitude. And the norms displayed include mutual respect, care, and sharing. So the example quote from the story is, "Thank you, Nana. Why are you giving me chocolate milk?" said Theo. "Of course, you're giving me chocolate milk. Thank you. Now I know the feeling," said Theo. So from here, we know that the moral norms is about respect, empathy, and kindness. Next. Now, how about other character values? The first character values is about honesty. Theo openly admits that he has never tasted chocolate milk. The second is perseverance, or relations. Theo remains strong despite living in an orphanage. The next is empathy. Nana eventually comes to understand Theo's feelings. And then gratitude. Theo appreciates every small thing he receives. The example quote is, "Mother, how does chocolate milk taste?" Theo asks Mrs. Swasti. "Ah, it's okay, ma'am. Hopefully later we can taste chocolate milk," said Theo. Theo tasted. Ah, chocolate milk turns out to be very delicious. Theo drank it little by little. He wanted to enjoy this precious drink. That's all from me. The next will be presented to the next speaker.
Thanks to Diva, and the next material will be explained by Ririn. To Ririn, time is yours.
Okay, let's begin with the strength of the article. First, the story shows a strong integration with psychological theories such as Kohlberg moral development, Erikson psychosocial stage, and self-determination theory. For example, Theo's growth from disappointment to forgiveness reflect his moral and emotional development. His imagination of an ocean of chocolate milk also show intrinsic motivation and resilience. And the second, the moral message are simply yet powerful. The story successfully communicates values like empathy, kindness, and gratitude, which are important for children's character education. Next. The third, it provides a strong foundation for character education, especially in early childhood setting. Instead of directly teaching values, the story uses emotional experiences and relatable characters to promote pro-social behavior. And the last is the use of psychological frameworks in the analysis help explain the emotional development of the characters, particularly Theo. This makes the story a useful case study in both literature and psychology classroom. And the next slide. Weakness of the article. Limited literary analysis. The article focuses heavily on moral and psychological interpretations, but lacks in-depth literary analysis. It does not explore narrative elements such as symbolism, character arc, setting, or tone. For instance, the ocean of chocolate milk could be examined as a dream motif symbolizing longing and imagination, which is overlooked. Next, repetitive use of theories. There is a tendency to repeat the same psychological theory, Kohlberg and SDT, without introducing new dimensions or contrasting viewpoints. That limits the richness of the analysis and might disengage more advanced readers or students. And then the last is narrow psychological focus. The article could be improved by considering a wider range of psychological perspectives, such as Piaget's cognitive development stage or Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory, which would deepen the analysis of Theo's learning process and social interaction. And suggestion from our group. First is balanced moral and literary analysis. Future analysis should strive to combine psychological theories with literary technique, exploring the narrative structure, use of metaphor, and character development would provide a more holistic understanding of the text. For example, the dream scene can be analyzed both as a psychological escape and as a literary device to express desire. And the next is include diverse reaction and reader responses. Instead of focusing only on Theo's experience, consider how different type of children might react to the same situation. A reader response approach to case studies in classroom setting could reveal variation in emotional interpretation and empathy development. And the last one is promote the use of children's literature in education. Stories like this should be integrated into school curricula as tools for teaching moral reasoning, emotional awareness, and empathy. They offer a non-threatening way for children to reflect on real-life dilemmas and learn pro-social behavior. Back to moderator.
Thank you to Lilian. And the next material, and I will explain the next material. So, what can we learn about the text? First is stories can teach powerful moral lessons. We can learn about forgiveness, how Theo forgives Nana after she apologizes, and gratitude, how Theo appreciates simple gifts like a chocolate milk, and kindness, when Nana makes amends by bringing gifts to orphanage. And number two is children learn better through narratives than direct instruction. It shows consequences of mocking others, like Nana's guilt, and demonstrates empathy through Theo's embarrassment, and dream sequences making longing relatable to children. And the last one, we can learn about literature is meaningful medium for character education. Build social awareness about different life circumstances, develop emotional intelligence through character experiences, and teaches values naturally without being preachy. Next is story reflection. First is be kind and never mocking others. For the example in the text, when Nana laughed at Theo, and then Theo felt embarrassed. And after that, Nana learned her lessons and she's apologized. And number two is small action can change someone's day. From the text, we can tell that Nana brought chocolate milk, and then Theo became very happy. Simple gift made a big difference. And the last one is stories teach moral lessons. No direct praising needed, and children learn through Theo's experiences. And the story shows consequences and the solutions also. Last is conclusion. From the text, we know that valuable story for teaching moral values. It shows forgiveness when Theo accepts Nana apology and gratitude when he thanks her for the chocolate milk. And the second one is literature builds character effectively. Children learn empathy by experiencing Theo's embarrassment and joy, rather than being lectured about kindness. And the last one is stories work better for moral education. The narrative engage emotion and teaches listen naturally, making values more memorable than direct instruction. So maybe that's all from our group, and thank you guys for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.